Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it looks different, it's because I'm at my new house. We've actually been living here for quite some time, but it took me a while to get my life back together. So here we are. If you haven't seen that last video, go ahead and go down to the description. I'll put a link there and you guys can watch it. It's like really quick. It's like a 5-minute quick tour of our house, and I'm really proud of it. We did our own, well, most of it. We painted it and then we tried to do the floors. We actually took out the carpeting ourselves and then hired someone to do the floors because it got way too hard for us. But on that topic, I am going to talk about 5 tips when trying to buy a house. This has been actually the most difficult thing I think I've done yet in my life. So I wanted to give you guys 5 helpful tips that could ease the process. My tip number 1 for you guys is to figure out your necessities, because after you go to the bank, find out how much you're approved for and then find out how much it's going to cost you monthly. It's going to change your whole perspective. I've always wanted like a really big, nice, updated house, but after figuring out how much it's going to cost monthly, it was a whole different story, because you get approved for so much and then once you break it down, you could only afford so much a month for your mortgage. So figure out your necessities. Ours was being in a good location because we want to live here for quite some time. So we want our kids to go to a good school district. A second thing that was really important to me was having a backyard, because we have 2 dogs and walking them daily was a pain in the butt. Not daily, but walking them every single time they had to use the bathroom was just so stressful. So having a backyard where they could just run around and pee and poop freely was a definite necessity for me. And one thing that changed was that I was so in tune to having 2 bathrooms. I was like, I must have 2 bathrooms. But I gave that up because, one, it's easier just to afford something that's in your budget, and it happened to us, for us to be 1 bathroom. It makes it a lot cheaper because people are looking for 2 bathrooms. So if you find a house that is 1 bathroom, it's going to be cheaper. So that's what we went with. And the last thing that we deemed, or I deemed necessary, was having 2 to 3 bedrooms. My dog is trying to rip up my sock. Because we want to live here a while, we want to have kids, and it's important to us to have enough space to be able to live here for quite some time. So having 2 to 3 bedrooms was a necessity. Everything else I kind of gave up, or I had to think about, because it wasn't as necessary, like having a super huge master suite or having a walk-in closet. There's just things you have to give up in life. And in the house buying process, you'll figure out yours, but that is my tip number 1. And my tip number 2 has to be the biggest tip, is to find the right loan for you. I didn't know this, but there are so many loans out there, and especially for a first-time home buyer loan, you have a lot of options. Ours is actually a government loan, so it is a heavy-duty loan, and there's a whole bunch of loans out there. There's loans that'll help you pay for renovations. There's loans that will pay for escrow. There's loans that will pay for your whole entire down payment. So if you are stressed out about the whole down payment, closing costs, escrow, talk to your banker, because there are loans out there that will definitely help for that, and that's what we did. So it definitely helped us buy a house at such a young age. And if you didn't know, first-time home buyers are only expected to put down 3.5%, I believe. Well, that's what it was when we bought a house, instead of a conventional loan, which has you put down 20%, which is crazy to me. It took me the longest time to understand that, because I was like, who has that much money lying around? Especially for California, houses are so expensive. So I was offended that people thought that we just had 20% lying around, but that's why there's first-time home buyer loans. So make sure you do your research and find the one that's best for you, because it is very helpful. Okay, tip number 3. This is to ask questions and ask questions and more questions, because buying a home is so dang confusing and there's so many new vocabulary words that I did not know of and that I did not understand. So we literally had our realtor's number. We texted her constantly. We texted our banker. We emailed. It was just so confusing that we had to ask so many questions. So don't be afraid to ask, because you're not the only one that's confused. Buying a house is just crazy. It's like learning a different language. It's not, but there's so many different words that we didn't know what it meant, or there's so many documents that you have to send in that's pretty confusing, that it's okay to ask questions because it's their job to get it in, so they're gonna want you to have the proper information. So ask away and then ask more and then confirm by asking again. Tip number 4 is to have your work life together. And it's a weird tip, but they're gonna have you send so many documents proving that you have an income that is solid, that you just need to have it all together. I don't know how many pay stubs we sent in, but it felt like it was endless. Like every few months they were like, well, okay, so our closing was 90 days, which isn't usual. We had someone leasing out this house, so we had to give them 90 days to close and find a new place to live. That sounds really sad. So we had to send our pay stubs, I feel like, constantly, and it's hard when you don't keep it together. Sorry, my dog is barking. But if you have it in one area, like a folder, just keep it all together, so when they ask for it, and it has to be consistent, it can't be like one from February, one from March, one from April. Like it has to be back to back to back every 2 weeks or every month that you get paid. It needs to be shown, because they want to prove that you can pay your loan off. So just keep it together so that you don't have to be frantically searching or asking your boss. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, gosh. But yeah, that is a huge tip, because I can't tell you how frustrated I was when they would contact me for like the 10th time asking for the same documents, but a more updated one. So keep that together, because they're gonna ask for that and your bank statements. So learn how to get it offline, because it's annoying to have to go to the bank every time. You could just find it online, print it out whenever you need it, and just keep everything together in a portfolio or binder or folder, because you're gonna need it and you're gonna receive so many papers. So just keep it all in one place. On the topic of working, the most important thing is that you can prove that you've been working at your job for 2 years, because they want to be able to predict that you're going to be working there longer and have the income that you told them that you would have to pay the loan off. So if you didn't know, Simba! The house next to us is being renovated because they're selling it, and they do construction, I swear, 24/7 on the weekends. So they started bright and early. It's only 8:49, so they've been doing it since 8 a.m. Okay, back to on topic. If you were a student and you got a job in your field or major after, those years in school counts as years as working. So I only had my job for a year, but because I went to school as psych and human development and I'm a preschool teacher, it counted for my years at work. So that was definitely something important to know, because otherwise my income wouldn't count and it would be based just off of one income, and that changes your whole entire foundation for buying a house. So if you went to school and you got a job in the same field, then you're in luck. You could count that as years towards your working career. And my last tip for you guys, tip number 5, is to take things one step at a time. Even though everything is really overwhelming and you're gonna have like 5 inspections going on and you have to pay for them, and think about all your due dates and dates that you have to get all your papers in, just take it one step at a time. Do one inspection, get the paperwork for that, do another inspection, make sure your papers are in by a date. But just think of it as one step at a time, because it can be overwhelming, and it was, again, the hardest thing that I've done in my existence of living so far. So I wish you guys best of luck if you are looking to buy a house. It is definitely worth it in the end. I cannot even tell you how thankful I am to be in this house and not in an apartment, because I was going crazy in apartments. I just love homes. So if you guys have any questions, you could comment below, and if you would like more information about buying a house, maybe I can make another video, so let me know if you're interested in that. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.